Good morning, colleagues. Good
Good
morning,
morning,
Mr.
Mr. Lee.
Mbanga. Test sound one, two.
Sound is all clear, Mr. Reddy.
Sound is off. Sound is
No,
on.
no, no, the sound I can hear you loud and clear. The bandwidth
Okay.
is low though.
Yeah, I think I'll switch off the camera. But my issue is at 8:30, I've got a bus that's coming to fetch me to go to Parliament. So I don't know how I'm going to be online and also be in the bus at the same time. That's multitasking 1.0.
Good morning, honorable members.
Good morning, Speaker.
And our support staff. Would like to welcome you to this National Assembly Programming Committee, which is taking place today for us to look at our progress in terms of the committee section work, as well as the bill and our parliamentary program. Colleagues, the meeting is going to be as brief as we are now used to, also given that a majority of parties are having their last party caucuses today. I would therefore like to ask Mr. Clason to give us the apologies that are there.
Just checking my apologies.
Kindly accept my apology for my video. It's a little bit challenging, so we are not able to see my face, but I'm present. I'm in the office.
Madam Speaker, we have the following apologies. Good morning, honorable members. Deputy Speaker, House Chairperson Frolik, and House Chairperson Majosi.
I see a hand. Is there somebody who would like to also give apologies? Yes,
Good
Honorable
morning.
Vivian and Honorable Papane.
Good morning, Speaker, and good morning, colleagues. My apologies for not showing my face. My face is still handsome, though. I'm in the bus, and it's not possible to get my face in here. My real apologies. I know many of you look forward to seeing it. Speaker, I just have an apology I'd like to record. I want to record an apology on behalf of the Chief Whip of MK Party. She is busy with some other parliamentary engagements this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable Papane.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. I want to tender the apology of the Chief Whip, who is attending to the ad hoc committee business. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Michalakis.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam Speaker. Just an apology on behalf of Honorable Nodada as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sangwini.
Morning, Speaker. I'd like to raise an apology for our Chief Whip, the Honorable Nolochungu, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sangwini. I don't see any other hand, and I suppose all the apologies have been tabled, and I propose that they be adopted and noted, rather. Can we have the mover of our agenda?
I move, Honorable Speaker, for the adoption of the agenda. Thank you.
And second, Speaker, second that proposal. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The agenda has been adopted. Can we now move to our third agenda item, which is the reports from the committee section and the bills office? Can I get our colleagues from the committee section and bills office to table their reports?
Ms. Pochard will display just now, Speaker. She just joined now.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker. Can I kindly ask Mr. Mbanga to display? I'm not in office, so I do not have the capability to display today. In terms of slide 2, members would note that we have 33 bills before Parliament. We have 19 executive members' bills and 14 private members' bills. Mr. Manga, you can go to slide number 4. In terms of slide number 4, we see some progress relating to the Performing Animals Protection Amendment Bill, where the motion of desirability and adoption of committee report took place on the 25th of November, and the matter is therefore finalized. Mr. Manga, you can just scroll through to the next slide that has red. Members would note that there's limited progress on some of the bills. In terms of the Marine Oil Pollution Preparedness Bill, on the 25th of November, the committee was expected to consider and adopt the committee report, and the order paper will indicate when exactly it will be considered by the House. You can move, sir. In terms of the Prevention of Illegal Eviction from Unlawful Occupation of Land Amendment Bill, there has also been some progress where on the 19th of November, there was a meeting scheduled to adopt the Memorandum of Understanding. Unfortunately, that meeting could not materialize. Notwithstanding that, the aim to finish date remains the end of this month. Then, honorable members, in terms of the insourcing bill, there was a presentation by Legal Services yesterday on the 26th of November. However, the aim to finish date is yet to be determined. For the Defence Amendment Bill, which was only introduced on 21 November, there is no progress. We're still awaiting the schedule from the committee. The Military Discipline Supplementary Measures Bill, the same applies, where the bill was referred on the 21st, and we are waiting for the committee to determine the schedule of the bill and its processing. Moving on then to the statutory appointments. For the statutory appointments relating to appointment of members of the Aviation the Safety Investigation Board, the date was moved to the 21st of November, and subsequently this matter will still continue in January 2026. With regards to the request from the Minister of Transport for the National Assembly to initiate the recruitment of candidates for the appointment of the Transport Economic Council, the portfolio of the Committee on Transport had the short listing of candidates on the 25th of November, and the remarks in terms of that is that in February 2026, this appointment should be concluded. We have no additional progress on the CGE, Parliamentary Budget Office. We've alerted the House chairpersons that in terms of the contract of the executive, in terms of the contract of the person in place, we have alerted the House chairpersons that the contract will conclude very soon, and we need an issue to have an instruction issued by the executive authority to initiate the process. We didn't want to anticipate that possibly it could be extended, and therefore we would need an instruction to indicate whether we initiate the process or whether we have a month or two grace where the contract is perhaps extended and where we then maybe start in the new year. But we'll be led by the Honorable Speaker and the House chairpersons in this regard. In terms of other matters, in terms of the ad hoc committee, there was planned meetings for 28 and 5 December, and that is the ad hoc committee on the review and amendment of Parliamentary Villages Management Board Act. Unfortunately, those meetings could not materialize, and the entire program of that committee has been postponed to the new calendar year. Estimated conclusion of the matter still at 31 March 2026. And then in terms of the petition of Mr. G.A. Werner, we had the joint oversight to the Free State Province on 18 to 21 November, and the report will be produced soon. For the petition on the Amadipla community, we have had the briefing with the petitioner on the 21st of November. The remarks there is that Sanral and the Department of Transport briefed the committee on the 4th of November. The committee has appointed one of its members as the facilitator to find an amicable solution. Furthermore, the committee has not yet determined the possible date for the oversight visit in the area. This matter could be settled mid-year 2026. That is then, in a nutshell, the issues before committees, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chairpersons, and all members. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Ms. Borchert. I think there's one issue that is misplaced in this report of the committees, the issue of the PBO, because it's not a matter of the committees, it's the matter that is dealt with by the House chairpersons of committees on both sides of the houses. Honorable Frolick.
No, good morning, Honorable Speaker, and good morning to the colleagues in the meeting. No, Speaker, I raised my hand specifically in that regard to say that that doesn't belong in the report of the committee section. It's a matter that's been dealt in terms of the relevant legislature between the board of the PBO and then the executive authority. And just to indicate, since it was raised, Speaker, that there has been correspondence and there is work that is being done by the relevant committees that is involved in that process. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can we now get the Bills Office report?
Good morning, Honorable Speaker, honorable members and colleagues. Honorable Speaker, currently on slide number 2, we are indicating the bills that are before committees. We're saying there are 31 bills that are before committees, 18 executive bills, and 13 private members' bills. And the 31 comes after the introduction of the Military Discipline Supplementary Measures Amendment Bill, B31 of 2025, which is in slide number 3. And we also have the Defense Amendment Bill, B32 of 2025. Both bills are proposed section 75. And it is important to note that these two bills, they both have a constitutional court deadline. And after my report, my colleague, Advocate van der Merwe, will report on these two bills. Slide number 6, please. On slide number 6, we are reporting on the Marine Oil Pollution Preparedness Response and Cooperation Bill. This bill, the committee reported on the bill. The bill is now on the order paper, SB 10D. It was amended by the NCOP and sent to the NA for concurrence. So after the committee has agreed on the bill, it's now on the order paper. If passed, it will be sent to the President for assent. And the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture also reported on Performing Animals Protection Amendment Bill. The report was published in the ATC of the 25th of November, 2025. This was, it is a private member's bill. and a Section 76. The next reporting slide is slide number 9. On slide number 9, the Bills Office have received 2 new draft bills, and we are working on them for introduction. The first one is the Electoral Laws Amendment Bill. This is a private member's bill, a proposed Section 75. And the second one is the National Water Amendment Bill. It is an executive bill, a proposed Section 75. It's also important to note that this bill was part of the legislative program that was approved by Cabinet early this year. And the last slide is slide number 12. On slide number 12, we are reporting that all 3 bills that were on the legislative program of 2025 that had the Constitutional Court deadline have now been introduced. With your permission, Honorable Speaker, Advocate van der Merwe will continue with our report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Advocate van der Merwe.
Thank you, Speaker, and good morning to the members and good morning to you. I would like to just remind members that a report on all the outstanding Constitutional Court judgments have also been circulated, but I will only be presenting on one matter where there will be a gap in the law and where there is progress. And in fact, my colleague has just mentioned it. It is the introduction of bills on the O'Brien matter dealing with the Military Discipline Supplementary Measures Act and the Defence Act. Both of these bills were introduced by the Minister of Defence and Military Veterans on 20 November. The Portfolio Committee has already met on this matter to discuss their program. They are fully aware of the Constitutional Court deadline, and they are the call for comments will go out very, very soon. Closing date, as I understand it, will be in the end of January. So the committee will be able to start processing the bill. They both propose Section 75. I believe that is how the JTM will also classify them, which means the process can be completed in time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, the 2 reports have been tabled. Can I get hands for those who would like to make comments? Honorable Reddy.
Thank you, Speaker. I just want to say, firstly, a very big thank you to the staff. You know, it's the last. Not really much I want to say about the programming, except to record our appreciation to all of them for putting up with parties like the ANC, for example, that constantly change their minds about issues. But I'm joking. I think we owe them a big gratitude. But Speaker, I want to propose that at the start of next year, if we could have maybe a 1-day workshop as a joint programming Whippery committee session, even if it's hosted in Parliament, that we could look at the entire year's program, especially some of the challenges, particularly around hybrid meetings and what challenges this brings. We have enough grey matter among those of us that are here that can actually come up with solutions to these challenges. And it would be a good thing to actually, at the beginning of the year, just meet, put our heads together and come up with a well-oiled plan for 2026. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Dagmo.
Greetings, Speaker and colleagues on the platform. Firstly, just to express thanks for the reports. I think, you know, the specific inclusion of the date where we aim to complete on legislation, I think is assisting, and that is appreciated. And then without really calling for a discussion, I think it is important to note that at the Chief Whip's Forum, the Chief Whip gave a report about that issue of the parliamentary accommodation for political staff, and this report today indicated, you know, that ad hoc committee. So I think there's just a need for us to be aware of that discussion that happened, because there is a process now with the Chief Whip, it seems, and the Minister to deal with that issue. So the whole question of in my view, it's still important that the ad hoc committee deals with amending that legislation. But just to say, there was quite an encouraging report that there's a process to deal with that immediate issue. But I still feel that the need for the amendments is there, but possibly we can take a bit more time in the new year. Thanks.
Thank you, Honorable Doug Moore. It may be difficult for other members who are not sitting in the whippery to engage with the comments you have made. I would rather propose that on that matter, we accept the report as is. Once we get new information, we will be able then to appraise the programming committee if there is any changes. For now, nothing has been availed to us, so we take the report as it has been presented. We do not see any other hand, and I take it that the reports have been noted and accepted. Can we now move to the parliamentary program? Honorable Dagmar.
Thanks very much again, Speaker. We are aware that that our program today is a busy one, which will probably take us through to 7:30 this evening, dealing with the appointment of the Deputy Public Protector, and then critically the consideration of the revised fiscal framework, and then essentially a number of BRRR reports, and I really don't want to go into those details. I think we're aware of what's happening on Friday, the mini plenary sessions. There was a bit of a concern raised, but it's in red there, that the changing of that particular draft resolution, but my understanding is that parties are ready and prepared for that. I just think the point that I want to make, I think we should, as far as possible, try and stick to keeping, giving that week's notice so that people can prepare. But nevertheless, and then if we go to next week, I think we have talked about these issues before. On Tuesday, we'll be getting the statement by the Minister of Women, Youth and Persons on the whole issue of disability and building a disability inclusive society, the debate on World AIDS Day, and then there's a bill there to be considered, plus a number of BRRR reports, which I won't get into those details. So that will be quite a long session. And then debates on the draft resolutions that are contained there. Then if we can go to Wednesday, which is the second last day, the plenary, peace and stability, our ministers will be there to deal with those questions, the P20 Youth Parliament, and then this is quite important, the programming of that Public Service Amendment Bill, which is now ready to be dealt with after the processes that have gone through. So it's good to have legislation there. Then the final day on Thursday, all of those matters, I'm not going to go through them, linked to the issues arising from the medium-term budget process, more BRRRs, and then the farewell speeches. And then just for colleagues to note, the constituency period, and Friday, although, Thursday would have been the plenary. There's space for committees on Friday. Then we have the constituency period from the 8th to the 19th of December, the actual leave period from 27 December to the 9th of Jan. NCOP leave period is there. And then all of us are aware, and we'll be coming back on Monday the 12th to deal with those. There have been assurances given through presentations that we are in line with all the legislation around money bills and the timing, but we will be coming back for that session on the 13th of January to deal with all of those particular matters, including considering the votes and the schedules. And then we go into a constituency period. So, Speaker, I want to stop there. I'm not sure, given that we're not having this joint committee later, whether you want me to also quickly deal with the framework, but I'm in your...
No, Honorable Doug Moore, let's stick on the presentation that you have just made now so that members can comment, and then we'll come back to the other issue you're just raising. Honorable members, here is the proposed parliamentary program. Any comment to it? None. I take it that we have accepted. Honorable members, we had scheduled a joint programming committee for the parliamentary program for today after this meeting. Unfortunately, we've just been informed by the NCOP secretary that they are not available. They had even communicated to their members that the meeting today won't take place. And unfortunately, from a communication point of view, that was not relayed to the Secretary of the National Assembly. Hence, we're not able to advise members on time, even as late as yesterday, to say that meeting is not going to take place so that members can schedule whatever necessary issues on their program. I am not sure, Mr. Castle, whether, given that we have not had that meeting, we can present a draft framework.
Madam Speaker, we did present it at the Chief Whips Forum yesterday, but maybe for the information of those members who are not part of the Chief Whips Forum, it could be presented for their information by the Honorable Dagmo.
No, thank you very much, Mr. Klasso. I will propose that Honorable Dagno gives us a framework of our programming for next year. Obviously, as indicated, it's a framework. There have been suggestions for workshops and other meetings. So we take it as a framework until there is final consultations. Honorable Dagno.
Thanks, Speaker. I'll definitely be very brief in regard to this draft framework, and I'm sure we will be advised as to when the joint meeting will happen. But as you will see there, it had been indicated in preparation that this would have been considered by the Joint Program Committee, but as you've ruled, we will proceed here. If you look then at the first term, and I think maybe just one introductory comment, and that is that the elephant in the room here is that all of us are aware that it's the date for the local government election has not been announced.
There is no elephant, Honorable Dagmo, there is no elephant. We will be advised by the IEC once that is done. I think let's not factor it in. Let's just deal with the framework.
No, we'll deal with the framework, but I just want to say that that issue would need to be taken into account. So if you look at the first term that's proposed, you will see there that we have the leave period from the 5th to the 12th of January, and we've already spoken in regard to the program about coming back for that particular session. We would then have a constituency period from the 14th to the 26th of January. NA Committee's oversight would be between the 27th and the 6th of February, and the training there is scheduled for those dates that are indicated there. And then we do then have now the joint sitting date for SONA finalized for the 12th of February in the evening at 7. And then the debate and the reply as indicated there on the schedule. What's important to note are the State of Province addresses scheduled between those periods. And then we'd be having all the mini plenaries in regard to the budget speech from the 24th of Feb to the 2nd of April. The actual budget speech itself scheduled for 25 February. I'm not talking at all about issues related to the NCOP. And then we have the questions to the President, the Deputy President, scheduled for February, March. Obviously, there's no particular dates for that. The debate on the fiscal framework needs to happen in March, and that date will also be determined. And then obviously the tabling of those departmental strategic plans, the debate on the division of revenue bill also needs to happen in March. We have the Easter weekend, a constituency period, 7 to 20 April. We can just go to the second term. Speaker, I don't think it's really necessary for this meeting to go into details. It is there. You would see the combination of the oversight weeks that are mentioned there, the plenaries, the many plenaries, the budget vote debates in May, and the actual particular date on the vote 2 and the debate on vote 1, that those need to happen in May. And then basically the third and fourth term are there for members to take note of. I'm not going to go into details. And the only point I was making, Speaker, is that if we could just record that given the issue of the date to be announced, there needs to be flexibility, particularly in regard to the third and fourth term, and I'm sure we can deal with those issues when we return and when we have more certainty. So in the interest of progress, I'm going to stop there. The draft framework is before the members. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dagmo. As indicated, members, this is just a framework. The detailed program will still have to be developed given the consultations that would happen between the Chief Whips Forum as well as different stakeholders. So this is just a preliminary framework. That is why I was saying, Honorable Dagmo, the issue of the election dates, we will know it when we know it, and will then adjust accordingly. But for now, this was just to give a framework of what it would look like. Honorable Nhlangwini.
Thank you so much, Speaker, and morning, colleagues. Speaker, I just want to check, maybe perhaps I missed it on the previous program that the Honorable Dagmo have presented, that we have successfully completed the work on the Rules Committee have successfully completed the rules on the Oversight Committee on the President. So I think that is, we must check some of this work to prioritize those reports to come and feature on the program so that we can start with the work in terms of the committee of Oversight Committee on the President. I think it's long overdue. It's been over a year that we have been busy with that work. So I think that report needs to come to the House so that we can, that some work and finality can come to it. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Nhlangwini. Just to advise that the report is put on the program for next week, Tuesday. So before we rise, that report of the rules would have been adopted by the House. I don't see any other hand. We'll now move to the consideration of minutes. Minutes have been circulated to all members. So I take it that all of us have read, made notes where we need to make inputs. But for now, can I get a mover of the minutes of the 13th of November?
I move, Speaker.
Is that
second the minutes?
Okay, who moves? Okay, thank you very much. Honorable Ngabayom Zinkwangwa, NLS has moved, and the support has been given by Honorable Cameron Dagmo. Thank you very much. We now move to matters arising. Mr. Clason.
Madam Speaker, there is one matter arising, a progress report on the state capture commission. We have circulated that report for the information of the members. So it was part of the documents that were circulated to members. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kaso. We all have the documents on our packs for this meeting. Honorable members, this brings us to the end of the meeting.
Speaker.
You have not raised your hand, NLS.
Oh, apologies.
Because that matter is being handled in terms of the processes of the legislation that deals with the PPO. So the two House chairpersons of committees have started the work working with the committee chairs as it is indicated on the PPO board. So we will be able to brief the members continuously how the process is going on. But as you know, that it is more about the contract that has come to an end of the current incumbent. Obviously, the necessary process would follow. But the office, in terms of the staff that is there, it's still there and it's continuing to do its work. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Honourable members, thank you very much. This brings us to the end of the meeting. And I would like to apologize that next week I won't be in the House. South Africa is hosting the Assembly of the Parliamentary SADC Parliamentary Forum starting on Sunday until the 5th. Thank you very much, and have a good day in your caucus, and see you this afternoon. Meeting closed.
Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Recording stopped.